Have you ever walked out of a job interview feeling like you totally sucked? Have you ever walked out of a job interview feeling like you knocked it out the park, but you still didn't get the job? I've been there, we've all been there, but today I'm going to tell you exactly my number one secret in how to land and pass your job interview. So if you're ready for the secret, listen closely. The number one secret to passing your job interview is preparation. Preparation, preparation. What I mean by preparation is not just flipping through the job description or glancing at the description or even looking at the company at the last minute the night before or just hours before. That is not preparation. That is not going to get you to succeed. Now, I know preparation sounds simple, but you got to do your homework. And in this video, we're going to dive deep into what exactly it means and those exact steps that will allow you to prepare properly for your job interview. And these are the exact steps that I took that allowed me to get a job in 1 week. Okay? So before we start, I'm going to let you know a personal story that I experienced when I prepared fully for my first internship that I received. So I was in college. I was studying for my internship. I had an interview coming up. So I didn't know the first thing about what it is that I needed to do. So I, of course, used career services at my university. I spoke to a career expert. They told me everything from beginning to end. And part of that I'm going to be sharing with you on today. Most of it, really. But essentially, it allowed me to prepare properly for that internship. And I end up interviewing, was feeling very confident, very comfortable, very excited, and ended up getting that job. So I'm telling y'all, like, I can't express it more because I know it sounds simple, and I know you're like, what you mean prepare? You know, or, I think I know how to do that already. But no, y'all, it's very... It involves some work. It involves some details. Here's another example, especially for the fellas or the ladies for that point. Think about Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe, all the greats, Steph Curry out here that's making these shots, making these layups, got to bring in their A game. What are they gonna say? Oh, I'm already good to go. I don't need to practice no more. And then just walk off. No, they still, well, rest in peace, Kobe, but they're still practicing 3 or 4 times a day for that game. I bet y'all didn't know that. The reason why I know it now is because my son is an athlete and they got to practice like 3 times a day. And I'm like, dang. But anyway, so I'm telling y'all, they are preparing for that moment. And they have to keep preparing because that's just going to get them better and better. So come on, y'all, go with me. Follow me when I'm saying that your job interview is nothing different. Okay, this is your life, this is your career, this is your income, this is your family, this is your life. So you need to prepare for that job interview so you can land an opportunity to be able to take care of yourself and take care of your family. Now, if you notice that I'm glancing down, it's because I'm come prepared. Okay, so one of the first things that you must do in order to prepare properly is the rule of thumb that I'm sure you've heard before, which is knowing the company, you know, the mission, the values, the culture, things like that. All of these things are at your fingertips nowadays. So there's no reason to come in there and not know anything about the company. There's no reason for you to come in and when they ask you, you know, what have you heard about our company? Or, you know, have you seen our company in the news lately? Or tell me a little bit about what you've heard that we've done or whatever. They're going to ask you why you're interested in the company. They're going to want to know that you've done your homework and your preparation when it comes down to knowing what they're about. You know, you don't want to go to the Pepsi company and be talking about Coca-Cola on act. Or you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to go to Google and be messing around and, you know, thinking about Amazon. Like, I mean, I know that's far-fetched, but you need to know who you're talking to. You definitely don't want to go for an interview at Apple and bring up something about a Samsung phone thinking that it's on the iPhone. No. You got to know what you're talking about. You need to do your homework. The next thing, which is probably the most important thing if you ask me, is understanding that role that you're interviewing for. When you understand the role, I mean reviewing that job description line by line. That involves work. That involves preparation. That is not just a quick glance. Okay? What are the duties? What are the responsibilities? What are some of the key skills? You need to go line by line and figure out how that relates to what you bring to the table. They already feel like you got what it takes because they're pulling you in for the interview. You don't want to fumble the ball at the interview because you didn't study properly and you didn't look at the job description. Okay, you want to look at it line by line and you want to figure out how does my experience relate to what they want on this job description? How does this line item relate to what I've done? And it sometimes requires a little bit of thought, but what I do want you to do is when it comes down to that job description, don't rely on it still being posted. Always take a copy of it, put it in your Google Drive, put it in your Word document, save it somewhere so you can always look at it, dissect it, print it off if you need to. But you definitely want to save a copy of it so that you can go back and look at it line by line in preparation for your job interview. Next, you want to prepare some answers ahead of time for the interview questions. When it comes down to preparing answers, the answers aren't always going to be right. I can guarantee you, people are not going to give the same answers every time. But what you want to do is you want to be able to give your answers in a confident manner. You want to really look like you know what you're talking about. So a mock interview or a practice interview is something that I would definitely recommend, especially at this day and age, considering that the competition is through the roof these days. Inflation has hit. The environment that we live in is totally different than what it has been before, and it's going to keep being different in the future. So you want to set yourself apart. So studying for your job interview, preparing, doing a mock interview or a practice interview with either a friend, a coach, a friend's friend. I recommend you do it with somebody you don't really know. So I would say, I would ask my friend to find somebody that they know so that I can interview with them. Hopefully if you have an HR person in your kind of network, you can ask them to refer them to interview with someone. This is why network is important. You need to have somebody in your back pocket that you're able to ask for help and ask to help you prepare with your job interview. Now, I also felt like it was important to mention to plan your outfit. Now, I know outfits and clothing and what's appropriate for an interview has changed over the years, but you do need to be aware of the culture, aware of what you're getting into, aware of the job's environment so that you can plan your outfit accordingly. So you do want to make sure you do that ahead of time. That's another preparation tip. Put your outfit out day before. Go shopping for what you need. If you need to, if you are tight on funds, you better hit up the Goodwill, the thrift store, all of that. I've done it, okay? Now, if you've made it this far, I have something else that I want to share with you, and that is the most common mistakes that you want to avoid when it comes down to job interviews. First of all, you never want to wing it. Never, 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 never. Never wing it. Basically, never go into your job interview having prepared nothing and think you're just going to sit there and just answer the questions. It don't work like that. It just don't work like that. I mean, most of the time, 99% of the time, it don't work with that. So that's something that you don't ever want to be caught in is, I'm just going to go in there and wing it. That's a no-no. Another important thing is you need to learn how to be concise and short in your answers. There are so many people who will answer questions and then get long-winded and then just lose us. And when I say us, you're losing the recruiter. You're losing the hiring manager because you're just going on and on and on and on and on. And I don't know what you done said because you done lost me. I done got sleepy. I need to sip some coffee. And I'm like, okay, next. Because I don't know. You talk too long. That is a side tip. In the order of negotiation, you say what you need to say and you shut up. That's what you're supposed to do. When it comes down to answers, You say what you need to say, and you be quiet. This is why you plan your answers ahead of time. Whole other video on the STAR interview questions. Check that out. But you got to plan ahead of time so that you're short, concise, efficient, to the point. Another thing you don't want to do is you don't want to skip doing a mock interview or a practice run. You guys, as I'm saying this here now, I've practiced this YouTube video. I've practiced it. I've said everything that I'm saying to you right now, I've said already out loud. I didn't just read my script. I didn't just read my outline. I literally went in my room, closed the door, talked, walked around my room, and said these things out loud. Am I saying them exactly how I said it the first time around, the second time around? Of course not. But that thing called muscle memory or voice memory or whatever it is, it makes you more comfortable because you've already said it once before. This is why I always say, do not skip that step. This is one of the mistakes people make, is not doing a mock interview or a practice run or something as far as saying those answers out loud. That's it. That is my number one secret to passing your job interview. If you want more videos like this, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.